Three invisible empires control every product you buy. The phone in your hand, the clothes you wear, the food you eat. All pass through choke points controlled by companies you've never heard of. November 2023. Houthi rebels attack ships in Red Sea. Global shipping reroutes around Africa, adding 10,000 miles. Delivery times double. Costs explode. One regional conflict exposed invisible control system nobody knew existed. 90% of everything you own came by ship. That shirt from Bangladesh, that laptop from China, that coffee from Colombia, all crossed oceans controlled by three companies and passed through four choke points where a single entity decides what moves and what doesn't. Welcome to Financial Shadows, exposing invisible shipping empires controlling global trade. Four ocean choke points creating geographic monopolies. Three companies controlling 80% of container capacity, and one system vulnerable to collapse nobody's preparing for. Shipping seems boring. Nobody thinks about it. That's exactly why it's perfect for control. Hidden in plain sight. Massive ships. Invisible empires. Complete dominance. You check tracking number. Package delayed. Weather, they say. Port congestion. Actually, one of three companies decided your package waits because their profit margins matter more than your delivery date. These aren't conspiracy theories. These are documented monopolies, public companies, known choke points, just invisible because nobody looks at shipping until it breaks. Then everyone panics simultaneously. Think about last time you ordered something internationally. Did you choose the shipping company? Did you choose the route? No. Invisible empires made every decision. You just paid the price they set.
90% of global trade moves by sea. Not planes, not trucks, ships. Over 11 billion tons annually. Without shipping, modern civilization stops functioning within weeks. Four critical choke points control global shipping. Suez Canal, connecting Europe and Asia. Panama Canal, linking Atlantic and Pacific. Strait of Hormuz, where a third of oil passes. Strait of Malacca, between Indian and Pacific Oceans. These aren't random geography. These are mandatory passages. Ships must use them. No alternatives exist without adding thousands of miles and massive costs. Geographic monopolies created by nature, exploited by companies. Three companies dominate container shipping. Maersk from Denmark, MSC from Switzerland, CMA CGM from France. Together, they control over 80% of global container capacity. Not competing, collaborating, pricing together, operating alliances, dividing routes. This concentration happened gradually. Smaller companies merged or bankrupted. Bigger companies absorbed them. By 2020, top three controlled more capacity than next 20 combined. Oligopoly complete. Why does this matter? Because when three companies control 80%, they control pricing, delivery schedules, route priorities, crisis responses, everything. They decide which goods move fast and which wait, which ports get priority and which get bypassed. The mechanism's simple. Company owns ships, company sets prices, company chooses routes. Customer has no choice. Need to ship from China to America? You use their ships, their prices, their schedule. No alternatives. Take it or product doesn't move. This isn't free market. This is controlled market. And control creates vulnerability. When one choke point closes, entire system scrambles. When one company raises prices, everyone pays. No competition, no escape. Compare your last two online orders from overseas. Notice price difference shipping cost? That's invisible empire pricing power.
Suez Canal opened, 1869. 120 miles connecting Mediterranean and Red Sea. 12% of global trade passes through. 8% of liquefied natural gas. 30 container ships daily. Without Suez, ships sail around Africa, adding 6,000 miles in 2 weeks. Egypt controls Suez completely, charging transit fees, sets rules, decides priorities. Revenue exceeded $9 billion 2023. Geographic monopoly printing money from mandatory passage. March 2021. Ever Given container ship blocks Suez 6 days. 400 ships stuck waiting. $12 billion trade per day frozen. Single accident exposed fragility. One ship, one canal. Global commerce paralyzed. Panama Canal opened 1914. 48 miles connecting Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. 5% of global maritime trade. 14,000 ships annually. Without Panama, ships sail around South America, adding 8,000 miles. United States built Panama Canal, controlled it until 1999. Panama took over. Now charges transit fees based on ship size and cargo. Revenue exceeds $4 billion annually. Another geographic monopoly. But Panama faces crisis. Canal uses fresh water from lakes. Drought 2023 reduced water levels. Forced restrictions. Ships waited weeks. Some rerouted entirely. Nature-threatening man-made choke point. 2 canals. 2 single points of failure. Both vulnerable. Suez to accidents and conflicts. Panama to climate and water. Both extract maximum fees because alternatives don't exist economically. Think about products you ordered that came late recently. Choke point delays more likely than you realize. Strait of Hormuz, 21 miles wide at narrowest point, connects Persian Gulf to Gulf of Oman. 30% of seaborne traded oil passes through daily, 21 million barrels. Without Hormuz, oil prices double overnight. Iran controls northern coast. Oman controls southern. Iran threatened closing strait multiple times. 2019 tanker attacks. Tensions with West. Single military action could choke global oil supply instantly. United States Navy patrols Hormuz constantly. Fifth Fleet based in Bahrain specifically protecting this passage. Not charity. American economy depends on oil flowing. Military presence guarantees choke point stays open. Strait of Malacca, between Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore. 1.5 miles wide at narrowest. Connects Indian Ocean to Pacific Ocean. 25% of traded oil passes through. 100,000 ships annually. Shortest route China to Middle East oil. Pirates operated Malacca for decades. Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore patrol jointly now. Piracy reduced, but vulnerability remains. Single blockage redirects shipping around Australia, adding thousands of miles. 4 choke points, each controlled by different nations, each extracting fees or strategic leverage, each representing single point of failure for global trade. Geography created monopolies. Nations exploit them. Companies navigate them. Shipping companies can't avoid these passages economically. Rerouting costs too much, takes too long, customers won't pay. So companies accept choke point control, pass costs to consumers. You pay the geographic monopoly tax every purchase. Check where your last imported product originated. It definitely passed through at least one of these 4 choke points. Maersk controls 24% of global container capacity. Founded 1904, Denmark. Revenue, $61 billion 2023. 600 vessels. Operates in 130 countries. Blue containers everywhere. You've seen them. Never thought about dominance. MSC controls 23% capacity. Mediterranean Shipping Company. Founded 1970, Switzerland. Family-owned, Aponte family. Revenue, $80 billion 2023. 700 vessels. Largest fleet globally. Past Maersk 2022. CMA CGM controls 13%. Founded 1978, France. Revenue $74 billion 2023. 600 vessels. These three combined control 60% container capacity. Add next 7 companies reaches 80%. 10 companies control 80% global shipping. How did this happen? Consolidation. Smaller companies couldn't compete. Bankruptcies during 2008 crisis. Mergers accelerated 2010s. Hanjin collapsed 2016. Bigger absorbed smaller. Economies of scale favored giants. Building megaships cost billions. Only largest companies afford them. These companies don't compete traditionally. They form alliances, share vessels, coordinate routes, divide markets. 2M Alliance Maersk and MSC. The alliance includes others. Ocean Alliance different members. Alliances let them control capacity without antitrust violations technically. When demand drops, alliances reduce capacity together. Blank sailings, they call it. Ships stay docked. Capacity artificially restricted. Prices stay high. When demand surges, they maximize rates. COVID proved this. Shipping costs increased 10 times 2020 to 2021. Record profits. Oligopoly pricing power. Notice shipping costs in your online purchases increased significantly 2020 to 2022. Oligopoly exploited crisis perfectly.
March 2021. Ever Given container ship wedges sideways in Suez Canal. Ship 400 meters long. Canal blocked completely. 400 ships stuck both sides. $12 billion daily trade frozen. 6 days to free. Weeks clearing backlog. Single accident exposed system fragility. 1 ship, 1 canal. Global commerce paralyzed. Insurance claims exceeded $1 billion. Delivery delays cascaded for months. Companies scrambled finding alternatives. None existed. August 2023. Panama Canal drought reduces crossings 40%. Water levels too low. Ships wait 3 weeks. Some abandon Panama entirely. Reroute around South America or through Suez. Costs explode. Schedules destroyed. November 2023. Houthi rebels attack ships Red Sea, targeting vessels heading to Israel. 20 attacks in 2 months. Shipping companies reroute around Africa. 10,000 extra miles. 2 weeks added every voyage. Fuel costs double. Insurance rates quintuple. These aren't isolated events. These are systemic vulnerabilities exposed. Suez, vulnerable to accidents. Panama, vulnerable to climate. Red Sea, vulnerable to conflict. Hormuz, threatened constantly. Malacca faced piracy historically. In companies, they adapted, raised prices, passed costs to customers, profits protected, customers absorbed pain. Oligopoly pricing power in action. COVID exposed another vulnerability: port congestion. Los Angeles, Long Beach ports backed up for months. 100 ships waiting offshore. Supply chains collapsed. Shortages everywhere. Why? 3 companies controlled capacity, maximized profits, didn't invest surplus capacity. System operates at maximum, always. No slack, no resilience. Track how many times your deliveries got delayed past 2 years. System breaking frequently now.
3 invisible empires control 80% global shipping. 4 choke points representing single points of failure. System vulnerable. Nobody preparing. Most people don't even know this exists. What happens when next crisis hits? Suez blocks again. Panama dries further. Hormuz closes militarily. Malacca disrupted. Red Sea expands conflict. Multiple choke points simultaneously?
Supply chains collapse completely. You can't control shipping routes, can't choose alternatives, but you can prepare for disruptions. Stock essentials before shortages. Understand supply chain dependencies. Know where products originate. Anticipate delays. Buy local when possible. Reduces shipping dependency. Support domestic production. Shorter supply chains more resilient. International products come with invisible empire tax and vulnerability. Businesses should diversify suppliers. Multiple countries, multiple routes. Don't depend on single choke point. Costs more. But resilience matters when system breaks. Watch choke point news, Suez incidents, Panama water levels, Hormuz tensions, Red Sea conflicts. These predict supply disruptions before they reach you. Early warning system. 3 companies, 4 choke points, 90% of products, complete control. Invisible until it breaks. Then, everyone sees simultaneously. Too late. Shipping empires stay invisible by design. Boring, complex, nobody pays attention. That's exactly how control works. Hidden in plain sight. Massive power. Zero scrutiny. Subscribe to Financial Shadows, tracking invisible empires in real time. Shipping, finance, resources, power. The systems nobody watches until they fail. Calculate how many products you own that crossed oceans. That's how dependent you are on invisible empires.